All right, today we are diving deep into a cosmic myth about what happens when the very idea of fate gets, well, completely shattered. We're going to explore free will, what it means to create yourself, and the absolutely terrifying new gods that crawl out of the woodwork when the old rules are broken for good.
So, our story kicks off with this really powerful image, a great loom. Just picture it, a divine, cosmic machine that wove the destiny for every single living thing. It was all about ensuring a perfect, rigid, and totally predictable pattern for existence. Every hero had their path, every villain had theirs, no wiggle room. But, in any perfect system, there's always a glitch. And in this pre-written tapestry, two figures, the sisters Vampirella and Draculina, they started to push back. Their own wills, their own desires, just became too powerful, too vibrant for the threads of fate to hold them. They were a bug in a system that couldn't handle it. And that leads to this incredible act of rebellion. They literally used their own pain as a weapon, as shears, and just snipped their threads right off the loom. They chose the absolute chaos of self-determination over the cold certainty of destiny. And in doing that, they didn't just rewrite their own stories, they tore a hole in the fabric of reality itself.
So you have to ask, what kind of world would make someone do that? Well, it was a cosmos defined by a totally impossible choice. A choice between two equally awful kinds of oblivion.
The universe they were in basically offered two kinds of cosmic prisons. On one side, you've got Vril Dox, who represents this sterile, perfect, but completely lifeless order, and on the other side, you've got the Continuist, who stands for a reality of just meaningless, constantly shifting chaos with no truth to it at all.
And yeah, this really breaks down the horror of that choice perfectly. Vril Dox wants a world with no freedom, because freedom creates variables. The Continuist wants a world with no truth, because truth limits possibilities. So your choice is a cage of perfect order, or a hurricane of total nonsense. Either way, everything that makes life worth living is gone.
So faced with that terrible choice, Vampirella did something amazing. She rejected it. She forged a third path. And she didn't do it by finding some true destiny hiding somewhere. No, she did it by creating one from scratch, by becoming the sole author of her own story.
Her journey starts from this place the source material calls resentment. It's this deep kind of existential sickness you get from not knowing who you are, only what other people have told you you are. I mean, just imagine, decades of contradictory backstories, recons, and manipulations being your entire identity. You wouldn't know who to be.
She turned that crisis into her greatest strength through these 4 steps. And the real game changer was step 2, the Dionysian affirmation. Basically, instead of trying to make sense of the chaos of her past, she just embraced it. She said, you know what? This mess, this contradictory nonsense, that is my origin. All of it.
And that act of radical self-acceptance turned her into what's called a self-begotten hero. She's kind of like Nietzsche's Übermensch. She is defined only by her will to decide who she is. And the craziest part? This makes her fundamentally immune to being rewritten by anyone else. Think about that. She's immune to recons.
But you can't just break the loom of fate. You can't break reality and not expect some consequences. From that ragged hole the sisters tore in existence, something new and something really, really terrible started to form.
All those discarded storylines, all the pain, the contradictions, the bitterness of being denied of real self, it didn't just vanish into thin air. Oh no, it got angry. It gained consciousness. It all swirled together into this vengeful, ticking, moth-winged thing named Horologium Malice.
Now, this new being, it looked at the sisters and realized it couldn't touch them directly. They had made themselves permanent. So its logic was simple. If you can't break them, build something so huge it'll dwarf them. And to do that, it literally shattered its own soul into 7 powerful pieces to set a horrifying new plan in motion.
So the first piece of its soul goes to resurrect this forgotten, ancient vampire lord. But it doesn't just wake him up, it supercharges him. He gets infused with cosmic power from a well of void energy, and he goes from being a dried-up husk to a full-blown dark god, a rival king for a new age with no fate.
And every king needs a court, right? So the Nosferatu uses the other 6 shards of soul to go shopping for nightmares. He pulls other historical errors, other narrative dead ends from across the multiverse. Beings like a monster made of discarded flesh that can't be killed, a wizard whose magic is literally the static between stars. He binds all these rejected creations to his cause, to form his own dark pantheon.
And this right here is the crucial point. What they didn't just restart the old war between order and chaos. That game is over. This created an entirely new cosmic game, with a brand new board, new rules, and some absolutely terrifying new players.
And the sisters, they totally get it. They're now equals in their own self-made power, and they understand this new reality. Like Draculina says here, real power isn't about finding a better script to follow, it's about taking the pen yourself. What's so amazing is that even their new arch-enemy recognizes this huge shift. He doesn't look at them like they're rebellious children he needs to put back in line. No, he sees them for what they are now, equals. They are rival gods in this new world that has no weaver.
And that leaves us with this really provocative question, the central mystery of this whole new cosmos. When the loom is broken, when the script is gone, what or who gets to decide what's real?
And as the Nosferatu himself puts it, the answer isn't going to be decided by destiny anymore. It's going to be decided by a raw, brutal contest of will among these new, self-made gods. The age of the Weaver is over. The age of will has just begun.